Hello fire signs, it's Arya here at the Intuit Cafe, and I'm going to be giving you a reading for the weekend of December 14, 15, 16, Friday through Sunday, and I'm going to do a combination tarot card and Lenormand card reading. So like I've said in my other videos below or before, if you make a comment below, if you have a question about wanting some more specific details, information, and how the message might apply to you, then write a question in the comments below and I'll do my best to get to everybody. I'll pull 2 or 3 cards and answer your questions. So that'll be a fun way to interact. And just, one more thing here, what I'm doing on this channel, I'm doing both Lenormand and tarot card readings and daily readings, weekly readings by groups of signs, and by astrological sign for monthly overviews, and doing a lot of different variety of things. So check back often and make sure you subscribe, like, use the little bell so you get updates when to find out when I've posted a new video. I also do private readings. There's information about that in the comment section below. And without any further ado, let's get going for my Leos, Sagittarius, and Aries for the weekend. So first of all, I've already laid out the cards for the Lenormand portion of the reading. Here, let me just adjust my camera a bit. Get a good view here. There we go. So these little cards I've set out here are giving kind of, I guess I would say, a context to the tarot cards that I'll be putting out, and they are the key, the stars, the cross, and my camera will not stay still. All right, let's try that again. Okay, so I have already laid out the Lenormand cards for this spread, and they're kind of going to give some context for the reading, and then I'll be laying out my tarot cards to give some more details and information. So we have the key, the star, the cross, the dog, and the garden. And the key and the star is a really great combination. It talks about having a really important, I would say, breakthrough of intelligence, problem solving, having solutions to things. When you have the key and the star together, you're really in the sweet spot. Like, when you're playing baseball and you hit that ball right in the sweet spot of that bat, and that just flies. That's what you're in, that zone. You're in the zone. Resolutions are coming to you, solutions to problems. You have exactly what is needed to bring about the desired results, and your wishes are really manifesting themselves in a really significant way. Now, for when the Lenormand cards are read, we will do the pairs, but then we also do what mirrors each other and how they go together. So let's take a look here at the dog and the garden. That talks about meeting someone in like a friend. It can be a friend, it could also be a lover. So, really however this applies to you, but it does talk about meeting them in a social setting. So it could be, going out to dinner with someone, meeting at a party, getting together in some way, even interacting with friends on social media. So for some of you, there's going to be an aspect of the key, the solution and being in that zone has to do with getting out in a social context. And of course, we have the holidays coming up. Maybe you're having some office, parties and things like that. But what's very, very significant here is that the cross is in the middle, and the cross is really about things that are very destined in our lives. It also is about spirituality, and it can be a negative card. It can be about burdens. So maybe for some of you, you've had burdens are kind of central, or things that are trials, difficulties. There's been difficulties that you've been going through, but the clear picture right now is that you have the solutions, the ability right now to truly get through whatever these burdens and difficulties have been. And the connection with this, meeting people in a social setting, friends, a friend, or people in general in a social setting is part of that. But it also can be just talking about how significant this is for your life. Like, there's something, I feel like something momentous is coming up, and really could happen even whether it's this weekend or kind of things are coming about over the weekend that'll even play out further out, into the future. But I feel like there's something kind of big coming up. So that's kind of exciting. Let's take a look too at the key in the garden. So again, it's talking about that, some kind of social public interaction is key. There's a breakthrough in that, and that you will have, kind of just like, I don't know, I'm even getting, for some reason, star-crossed lovers, even though the dog is a friend card, in the sense of that just popped into my mind. So I think that like the star-crossed is the opposite now, because there's a solution. So if in the past you feel like you have been, like everything has been against you, and things that have been difficult and have been a burden between you and another person, whether it's a friend or a lover, that there's definitely potential now for things to shift. All right, so let's go ahead and pull some cards from tarot and see more about what story is happening for us. So there's been some resistance to something, maybe even a sense of boredom, not wanting what's being offered. And here we have the Lovers. So I do feel like for a lot of you, it's going to be in a sense of, this story down here is having to do in the lover situation with a lover. It also can be talking about making a decision. And we have the Hermit. I feel like a lot of you have been in a hermit mode. You have been going within, and it's for good reason, because going within has found you these answers. By going within, has caused this breakthrough, finding solutions, getting in that sweet spot, and it has to do with the Lovers. So like maybe you've even been holding back because you needed to go within and figure out a solution and figure out what was going on with you and this other person. Sometimes, or maybe they were pulling away, whether it was you or them that was pulling away. It's been for a good purpose and a good reason, because again, we have this assurance that there's something really positive coming from that. So there has been a feeling of defeat at some point here, and I do feel like it could be that the feeling of defeat, or of like the Five of Swords is a card that has to do with there's been distance and separate, a distance or a schism has occurred between these people, and some people feel like they've been defeated and other people feel like they won the battle, but it's not a very sweet victory. It's kind of a victory that came at a cost, and maybe that's also what has caused this going within, because I do feel like it has definitely to do with the lover situation here. So we are seeing a sense of renewed understanding of the value of something here, and I do feel like that is going to be connected with this that the problem solving comes about because of a sense, when we take the time to go within, consider the situation and what happened. It wasn't a very there was some, I do feel like there's some people, some lovers here who have been separated, and there was something at the core of that, but taking the time to go within and even resisting. Maybe you were being offered, to, come back into the situation, or they were being offered something and resisted it and, didn't accept it. But even though maybe it felt at the time like that was a defeat, that there was value in it and something good is coming from that. And the Page of Pentacles also is about communication. So then there's an opened, whether it's communication with this other person or even just with your higher self, your higher knowing that is like able to communicate to you and giving you better insights because you've taken the time to go within. You've received it. There's something here that has come through that was important. And we have the Queen of Pentacles, and I feel like it's kind of stepping up. So we had the Page, was the initial understanding and the realization of the value, and then the Queen of Pentacles is really coming into it and fully owning it and having it. I do want to see more about kind of the second part of this spread here, where there's a suggestion of some kind of meeting. So let's pull a couple cards about that. So we have Justice. Justice is about bringing balance into a situation. So it feels like maybe there hadn't been balance, and now we have a masculine here. So we have a Queen of Pentacles with this maybe you or the other person. And whether you're an earth sign or not isn't necessarily the issue as much as it having to do with the energies of it, having to do with being grounded and really like, planting your feet in this situation and understanding that what happened and what occurred with the separation was like there was value in it, coming into that feeling of value. And then it is interesting when I'm wanting to see here about what happens with this this meeting up. We do have the masculine coming out. Now this is the King of Wands, so this could be you. This is the, you know, fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But I do feel like here we do have a masculine, you know, feminine and masculine that are meeting up. And, you know, you can both be two males, two females, doesn't matter, of course. But there is, it's coming about because it is bringing things into balance. I feel like the lovers are balanced. And we're seeing a reflection of that, you know, coming through in here by having an opportunity to come together and connect in some way socially is going to bring balance to the situation that was much needed. And I'm going to pull up a couple more cards here about these on the floor, about this king and the queen here. And yeah, they're working on something. They're working on I feel like this is, again, it kind of goes back to the star where you have the solutions and the problem and you have exactly what you need to bring about the desired results. But it did come at effort, like something had to be done to get that. It was going within, it was taking the time to do that. And it had, you know, had to do with putting in the time, putting in the work and the effort in order to resolve the situation of the loss here, because there was a sense of loss that, you know, is very similar to the Five of Swords. There was a defeat and the sense of regret and the loss that had happened between these two people. And now that solution is coming through because the time was taken. So if you guys have been, you know, kind of going within for a while, or maybe that's what's headed up, you know, it could be for some of you, this, you've already gone through this and now this is coming into this, I would say this stage here of the, you know, the coming into the balance between these two and meeting up and connecting. But some of you, this may be just like it's coming forward. It's something that's going to be, you know, it's developing. You're like maybe in this stage of the, you know, the going within and the holding back and doing and putting in the work to bring it into balance, you know, to understand, to have the value and understand what was really going on here so that you can come back together and, you know, bring it all together. So that's what I have for you again. Go ahead and leave comments down below. Or questions. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to pull a card or two. Lenormand is really fun to do to get some specific information, or I can pull tarot cards as well. I'll do my best to get back to as many people as possible. And thanks so much for watching. Keep in touch and like, subscribe, and share.